Hey guys, it's Tim, and this is the Wrestling Wrap-Up right here on Pro Wrestling Unlimited. It's a handful of news brought to you in one easy-to-watch video. Also, why am I so bright? Let me turn one of my lights down for a second. Hold on. It's super bright. It's super bright. 10 clicks. That looks better, because before I went live, that's way better. Before I went live, it looked fine. But then I went live, and it was all blown out. So I'm like, let's fix it. Let's fix it. I can still fix it later. It's not perfect, but it's better than it just was. But with that, guys, welcome to Pro Wrestling Unlimited. We're here with the Monday, March 14th, 2022 edition of the Wrestling Wrap-Up. A handful of news brought to you in one easy-to-watch video. Today we do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 news stories we're going to hit. And, excuse me, we got 5 news stories we're going to talk about from, everything unfortunately going on with Scott Hall. I'll give you actually 5.5, because we're just going to quickly go over the Big E stuff, just in case you didn't hear everything. We're going to talk about WWE's latest inductee into the Hall of Fame. Who's the next guest for Stone Cold on the WWE Network? Paige VanZant is still going to fight even though she signed to AEW. And who is WWE's latest new big young signee? All that and more on today's Wrestling Wrap-Up. But with that, I want to say thank you for joining me here. Twitch.tv/PW Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and Twitter.com/PW Unlimited. Remember, if you are watching on Twitch, you can help us out a couple of different ways. You can help us out by hitting that donate button down below or donating Twitch bits in the live chat. Also, remember, you can subscribe to the channel one of 2 different ways. You can either subscribe just like Cold Cuts KC recently did with a tiered subscription, or you can say, hey, I ain't got the money for that $5 tier 1. I'm already paying Jeff Bezos, was it $12 a month or $140 for the year? But hey, if you are paying Jeff Bezos already for Amazon Prime, you take that Amazon Prime account, you take that Twitch account, you link them together, bada bing, bada boom, you're Prime Gaming. Prime Gaming gives you a lot of free things, a lot of cool free things, like right now, Madden 22, free. Stuff for video games, like Madden 22, Fall Guys, Grand Theft Auto 5, and so much more. But the one thing it always gives you that it never changes is one free subscription to any Twitch channel you want to subscribe to throughout the month, and I'd greatly appreciate it. Subscribe right here. Pro Wrestling Unlimited. But also, it's not to be that you don't have Amazon Prime. Don't worry. You might know somebody that does. You might know somebody that's got Amazon Prime, whether that's your mother, your father, your sister, your brother, your auntie, your uncle, your grandma, your grandpa, your dog walker, your babysitter, the guy that changed your oil yesterday at Walmart while you were walking around looking for that JoJo Siwa cereal for your daughter. Yep, that happened to me recently. You go, hey, you got Amazon Prime? Oh, you do? Well, here's the little proposition. I want to use it. To link it to my Twitch account. Not going to cost you anything, but I link it to my Twitch, then I can support a great creator. But on the flip side, if you're watching over on YouTube, you can help us out over there as well with a super chat and a super sticker donation. All super chats do get read live on the air. And hit that join button down below to become a member. Channel member and a member of the Unlimited Army. In doing so, you get early access to news, early access to podcast episodes, early access to non-news videos, and so much more. Plus, if you say, yeah, well, YouTube's taking how much of that? I don't want to give YouTube more money. I want to give you money. Well, you can more directly support us and get all of that at patreon.com/PW Unlimited. And finally, something that is not going to cost you any extra money. Heading over to the Epic Game Store. Head over to the Epic Game Store and buy a game. Whether it's the brand new Sifu, whether it's the brand new Elden Ring, whether it's an old game like Grand Theft Auto 5, when you check out, it's going to say, do you have a creator code? And you do. It's PW Unlimited. Put in the code PW Unlimited at checkout, and you will be supporting us here, PW Unlimited, as we will be getting a kickback from that purchase. Or even if you're claiming the free game. Even if you're claiming the free game on the Epic Game Store. You playing Fortnite, Rocket League on your PlayStation, Nintendo Switch, or Xbox? Well, there's a store there as well on those games. And it also says, put in your creator code. And if you do, you're supporting us right here, Pro Wrestling Unlimited. Also, this podcast is brought to you by the PCD Hive magazine. We'll talk about that later. So the first thing we have to talk about is some unfortunate news that I'm going to be optimistic and say can eventually become good. Maybe. Who knows? Scott Hall is currently fighting for his life. So we learned about a week and a half ago that Scott Hall broke his hip and had to have hip replacement surgery. And you think, okay, I know a lot of people that had hip replacement surgery. All good. But he had complications in that surgery with a loose blood clot, left him hospitalized. And you go, uh-oh, that's not good. Then, Sunday morning, Wade Keller of PWU Torch tweets out, or puts up on their website, unfortunately, Scott Hall had to be put on life support as Saturday night, he suffered 3 heart attacks. And you go, oh no. Oh, no, what? Huh? No way. So all day yesterday, we get all the people, prayers for Scott Hall and his family. Hopefully Scott Hall can make it through this. Hopefully Scott Hall can kick out and this and that. And we got the biggest real update, I guess you could say, 11 hours ago from one of Scott's closest friends ever. And that's, big sexy Kevin Nash. As Kevin Nash posted the following on Instagram. Scott's on life support. Once his family is in place, they will discontinue life support. I'm going to lose the person on this planet I've spent more of my life with than anyone else. My heart is broken, and I'm so very fucking sad. I love Scott with all my heart, but now I have to prepare my life without him in the present. I've been blessed to have a friend that took me at face value, and I have him. When we jumped to WCW, we didn't care who liked or hated us. We had each other, and with the smooth Barry balloon, we changed wrestling both in content and pay for those. A lot that disliked us. We were the outsiders, but we had each other. Scott always felt he wasn't worthy of the afterlife. Well, God, please have some gold-plated toothpicks for my brother. My life was enriched with his take on life. He wasn't perfect, but as he always said, quote, the last perfect person to walk the planet they nailed to a cross. As we prepare for life without him, just remember, there goes a great guy. You ain't going to see another one like him again. See you down the road, Scott. I couldn't love a human being any more than I do you. Scott Hall again, like we said, is on life support. Kevin Nash did post this last night, and a lot of different wrestlers, I guess you say, commented on Kevin Nash's post as well. We got Matt Cardona saying, fuck, he changed my life. This is horrible. Tori Wilson would comment saying, OMG, Kevin, this is heartbreaking. Sending you a big old hug and about to pray to God for those golden toothpicks and his worthy acceptance into the golden gates. Hope you are hanging in there. Other wrestlers like Ivar sent just a heart emoji. Same with Natalia, Candice Michelle, and others. And yeah, it's very, very sad that it looks like Scott Hall's days on this planet may be numbered. And I did want to pull in some other tweets and stuff from different wrestlers and whatnot in the industry. I'm actually going to pull these ones up on screen. They're just easier to see than the Instagram post. But we have Paige VanZant. She says, the world loves you, Scott. Hero to many, including myself. We got Malcolm Bivens here. Says, Scott Hall strutting to the Fuges is one of the craziest and greatest entrances of all time. I hope I said that word right, Fuges. Jordan Gray says, there will literally never be another wrestler as cool as Scott Hall. Luke Hawks, I'm not going to read all this, but Luke Hawks, I would say go read this. What Luke Hawks posted was really great. He says, my relationship with Scott Hall, for those that care to read, may be a different story than you're used to reading or hearing. I'm just going to read a little bit of it. But it was, I could write a novel on my relationship with Scott. We all have our stories, but I'll tell a short, simple one on the first time we met. It was 2006, 2007 in Evansville, Indiana. We were booked for the Insane Clown Posse JCW. Scott Hall and I clicked right away for some reason. Our first day, he asked me to come to dinner with him, and we went to a restaurant that was above my means at the time. I knew that Eating that meal would cost a good chunk of my pay, and I still had 2 more days there, so I would be losing money on this trip. I didn't say anything, but yes, because I knew it was a good opportunity to pick Scott's brain on wrestling and learn something. At the end of the meal, when the check came, Scott picked up the bill, and I felt a little awkward because I wasn't used to someone paying for things like that for me. Scott not only bought me dinner that evening, but he stuck with me the whole weekend, and he paid for every single thing we did. I felt terrible because I felt like I couldn't return the gesture, and I didn't understand why he was being so nice to me, talking to, and dropping so much knowledge on me, spending a good amount of money on me, spending time with me, and just going out of his way to build me up and better myself. Mark Merrow tweeted out, "My thoughts and prayers are for Scott Hall, who was on life support at Wellstar Kenstone Hospital in Marietta, Georgia. We spent many years in WCW and WWE together. Some great memories. He recently had hip surgery, but the serious complications which led to 3 heart attacks. Captain Sean Dean, Razor Ramon / Scott Hall, the first guy I viewed in wrestling as cool. For the amount of times I got in trouble from a crotch chop was about as equal to me throwing toothpicks at people. Heels today owe him, because he truly made it cool to be, quote, the bad guy." Stu Bennett, Wade Barrett, also tweeted out, "There's nobody cooler than the bad guy. I was a huge fan of Razor Ramon as a kid, and then became an even bigger fan after spending a little time around Scott Hall, the person. What a man." And then we have a couple things here from Sean Waltman. He's posted out some pictures. We've got this one of him and Hall with Finn Balor and Shinsuke Nakamura. This one, I'm not quite sure. Mickey Ward. I've heard the name, but not sure exactly who he is. This is Scott and I and Lowell with the legend Mickey Ward. Oh wait, Mickey Ward from the Mark Wahlberg movie. That's right. Now I remember. As soon as I read it, it said Lowell. And then finally, there's one of the 2 of them backstage with Asuka. So, this is very, very, very sad, very unfortunate. Man that you can tell is loved by so many people in the world of professional wrestling. And here's to hoping that maybe they take him off life support and he kicks out. The way Kevin Nash was talking doesn't sound like, it's going to happen. But we can always pray for the best. We can always pray for, him to make it. We will keep you guys updated if we do hear anything further on the bad guy, Scott Hall. But as we move forward, we got to talk about, who's the next inductee into the WWE Hall of Fame? Right now, we do know The Undertaker. We do know Vader. And the female inductee was announced this morning by WWE. Got this right here. Breaking, as announced by Complex, Real Sharmell will be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame's class of 2022. So, yes, Sharmell, Queen Sharmell, will be going into the WWE Hall of Fame this year. A little bit on Sharmell. Queen Sharmell first entered the wrestling business in WCW after being named the 1991 Miss Black America at 20 years old. She went on to become a member of the Nitro Girls, and Sharmell went under the name Storm and then changed it to Paisley, competing and accompanying other talents into the ring. Sharmell eventually signed with WWE in 2001 and began training at Ohio Valley Wrestling. She was then used as part of the Suicide Blondes under the name Sister Sharmell, while she also took on a backstage interviewer role. However, she's best known being with her real-life husband, Booker T. When he was World Heavyweight Champion and the King of the Ring, she was Queen Sharmell. I mean, if you grew up between 2004 and 2006, who can't remember All Hail King Booker? All Hail King Booker! Who can't remember that if you grew up around that time when Booker was the king of the ring, when Booker was the world heavyweight champion. And those two were really great together as an act. I will say that for sure. And got some exclusive, I guess you could say, not exclusive to me, but exclusive to PW Insider comments from Booker T. Apparently, last week, Mike Johnson of PW Insider interviewed Booker T to talk about reality of wrestling. And the topic of could Sharmell go into the Hall of Fame came up, and Booker T stated the following. Quote, man, I tell people all the time, Sharmell has definitely been underrated for what she's done in the business, for the business. I tell people all the time who have never been a King Booker run if it wasn't for Sharmell. That thing was created around her. My career was definitely furthered with Sharmell by my side. I don't think we would have ever seen that character if it wasn't for Sharmell, as well as the small things that one does for this business. We have reality of wrestling. We're definitely thinking about the next generation of professional wrestling. Definitely. I think she's worthy of being in the Hall of Fame. Plus, she's my queen. Also, Booker would go on to say, I tell you, having the momentum for me, it was a heartfelt moment. It was true. It was from the heart. And for me to be able to flip the script, it would really be awesome because she deserves it. Not just because she's the mother of my kids, but she's been a true warrior to this cause for so long. And to have not gotten the recognition to be recognized that way, I think it would be pretty cool. Pretty cool. So yes, Sharmell is going into the WWE Hall of Fame. Queen Sharmell will be inducted this year alongside The Undertaker, Invader, and maybe one or two more. I would say maybe two more to be announced going forward. We still don't know the tag teams. Well, maybe they announced just a tag team. Something with the Warrior Award. Rumor going around is Shad Gaspard. So, congratulations, Queen Sharmell. Speaking of females in the WWE Hall of Fame, a little quick hit here. Lita will be the next guest on Stone Cold's Broken Skull Sessions on the WWE Network in Peacock. That's going to be a really cool one. That sees Lita on there. Pulling up WWE's post about it here, right here. I'm reading the link I had. Did not want to work. Let's pull this up here. And why is this one not wanting to work either? Let's go right here. Okay, here we go. It's WWE tweeted out this. Just a quick image. Oh, hell yeah. Amy DuMaggio and Steve Austin BSR on the next episode of #, Broken Skull Sessions, premiering Friday, March 25th on Peacock in the U.S. and at WWE Network everywhere else. And that is a week from this. Let's pull up the calendar real fast. Boom, bop, boom. A week from this Friday. Will be the Lita episode. I don't know when it was filmed, but hopefully it was filmed after Elimination Chamber. Because I would love Austin to ask her about the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, going over to Saudi Arabia, and all of that, whatever all of that did entail. As we move forward, I do want to say that this edition of the Wrestling Wrap-Up is brought to you by the PCD Hive magazine. Issue number 1 of the PCD Hive magazine is available now to purchase digitally. The magazine focuses on mental health, self-love, and features a number of different creators in every issue, from writers, poets, artists, and so much more. Right now, the PCD Hive magazine is available for only $1, and you can get it right now from the link in the description below or by heading over to PCDHive.com. Again, check out the March edition of the PCD Hive magazine, exclusively available right now for only $1, PCDHive.com, or the link in the description below. And I'm a part of this team. They came to me and said, hey, we got content, we got writers, we got everything, but we don't have somebody that can put it all together. We need you. We want you to work for us, with us, to design this magazine, to put this magazine together. And it was truly a great project to work on with some great people. So I do appreciate them bringing me on, and now being able to promote the magazine right here, Pro Wrestling Unlimited. So again, head over to PCDHive.com or head over to the link in the description below to get the March edition of the PCD Hive magazine. It's available for only $1. So as we move on forward, as we learned last week, Paige VanZant has officially signed with All Elite Wrestling. And you got the question, okay, so is she 100% wrestling? Is she 100% invested in AEW? Or will she still do MMA? And the question was answered when she was a guest on ESPN Mark Ramondi's latest interview podcast episode. And she basically said, no, I will continue to fight for bare knuckle fighting championships, as she stated the following. Everything about it. You know, my athleticism. I come from a fighting background. I came from combat sports. I also come from a gymnastics background. I feel like there are so many parts of my skill set that I'm not able to utilize in pro fighting. Pro wrestling has been something I've wanted to get into for a very long time, and I've had prior contracts that didn't allow that. Luckily, I'm still a professional bare knuckle boxer with BKFC. They couldn't have been more supportive, so they're actually supporting this transition as well. I'll still be doing bare knuckle boxing with the BKFC and doing AEW. They allow me to have an open-ended contract where I can go compete and be a part of AEW Pro Wrestling. So, that was a big push. Just having their support throughout the entire thing. And I know that they're going to help build the AEW. Yeah, that's a weird way to say it, but I know that they're going to help build the AEW and vice versa. I think it's going to be really cool crossover between the two worlds because they are very similar. They are in the combat sports world. But it's interesting that she will continue to be doing her bare knuckle fighting as well as wrestling for All Elite Wrestling. No word has been given on when she's going to actually have her first match. We don't even know how far along she is on her pro wrestling training. That's the big question. Also in this interview, she did make a comment saying, you know, Brandy Rhodes, she left AEW because of me. That's why she walked out of this company. She couldn't handle me or something along those lines. So, yeah. Paige VanZant going AEW, we know that. She is signed with the company officially, but she's still going to box or fight or whatever you want to call bare knuckle fighting championships. Because, like, there is mainly boxing, but you can do there's some MMA rules tied to it and this and that. But kudos for her making it all happen as far as being able to do both. Because I know, like, what was it, 2018? WWE was interested. They weren't going to let her fight. They would maybe, but highly doubt they would let her do both. When she was in the UFC, I doubt the UFC would have let her go to pro wrestling full time or as full as she wanted to be. So again, kudos to her for working all these contracts together and being able to do everything that she still wants to continue to do. And finally, we got our last story here. Speaking of WWE or AEW picking up a female and signing her, well, WWE has picked up a female as well, and that's the former Ring of Honor Women's World Champion, Roxy. Roxy signed with All Elite Wrestling, or signed with WWE. Mike Johnson of PW Insider broke this story, stating, quote, former Ring of Honor Women's World Champion Roxy has finally officially signed with WWE for the NXT brand. PW Insider can exclusively confirm. Roxy 20 was the initial ROH World Women's Champion and had been signed to Ring of Honor, but her deal was cut as part of Ring of Honor's hiatus at the end of 2021. She had quietly disappeared in recent months, beyond a few autograph signing appearances, after making a lone appearance for MLW and losing the ROH title to Deonna Purrazzo at Impact Wrestling. She had been in a number of recent NXT tapings. I'm going off on my own thing. She was actually seen twice on NXT television sitting in the crowd for NXT. So, Johnson stating today that she has signed with WWE makes me think, nah, she may have signed before this and the news just finally got out. Or maybe that she agreed to sign. She's been showing up at the PC, but now she's officially signed the contract. I don't know exactly, but we have seen her twice. And I think I could pull up one. Let's see. Roxy NXT taping. Let's see if I can find... I know in February, I was told she was backstage a couple times. Where's that one image of her sitting in the front row? May not be as easy to find as I thought. Oh, well, it might help if I spell it right, too. Because she has been spotted there before, sitting in the crowd. Now I can't find the photo. But it was back in February, around the same time when I was told, hey, Roxy was backstage today. Yeah, I can't find that photo anymore, unfortunately. But Johnson goes on to say Booker T praised Roxy during an October 2021 interview discussing his reality wrestling school promotion. This is where she broke in, commenting, quote, Roxy, she's been part of reality of wrestling since she was about 10 years old. Okay. And then she became the youngest reality of wrestling champion after only a few months of training. She's a prodigy. She's definitely one that's going to have a really, really bright future. And she's representing reality of wrestling to the utmost. I couldn't choose anyone better from the female perspective to represent reality of wrestling. And she's doing such an awesome job. And that's what reality of wrestling is all about. It's a breeding ground. It's a stepping stone for young guys, young girls to get to the next level. We are the AAA of professional wrestling. That's what we want to be. Where guys, if they want to get to the next level and know exactly what it takes to get to that next level, come to reality of wrestling and be part of it. And hopefully, we can get you there. So with that, Roxy has signed with WWE, according to Mike Johnson of PW Insider. And this was inevitable. We knew this was going to happen. Back in, I want to say, November, December, she was at a WWE tryout. And what happened? Well, they were very impressed and basically were telling everybody, she needs to get signed. We need to sign her. So it's been a thing for a while that people running them tryouts was like, she's the one we need. We need her. But with that, Roxy coming in, but we don't know when she's coming in as far as when we're going to actually see her on television, how long it's going to take for them to train her the way they think she needs to be trained before she can be thrown on WWE television. But I think she's someone that we're going to see for a long time. Whether she stays with WWE or not, she ain't going anywhere. Whether she stays with WWE, goes and works for another company afterwards, maybe she's not happy with WWE. I don't know. She hasn't been there yet to know if she's happy or not. But I'm happy that Roxy's coming to NXT, and I think she is going to be a breath of fresh air in that much-needed women's division, and a women's division that needs some help. Because it's not long before we see some of these women like Io Shirai and Raquel Gonzalez get called up. And then what? You're going to have way too many green women wrestling each other. And Roxy, like Booker said, she's been training since she's 10. And now I want to say she's like 20. How old is Roxy? Roxy is 20. She's been training for like 10 years. And she's been doing this at a high level. If you've seen a Roxy match, you know what I'm talking about as far as saying she's doing this on a high level. So congratulations to Roxy for getting signed by WWE. But with that, that's going to wrap up the wrap-up. You like how I did that? Wrap up the wrap-up for Monday, March 14th, 2022. Tonight is Monday Night Raw. Two things have been announced and advertised for the show. We got Kevin Owens responding to Stone Cold Steve Austin, responding to his challenge. And RK Bro is going to hold some sort of, I guess you could say, championship celebration. Only two things we know. The only two things we know. But with that, guys, I want to say thank you for joining me here. Twitch.tv/PW Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and Twitter.com/PW Unlimited. If it's Monday and you're watching, whether that's live or later, well, I'll see you tonight for Monday Night Raw. Have a good one, guys.